Edgar Allan Poe, born on January 19 in 1839 and died in October 7 in 1843. He was an American writer, editor, and literary critic. Poe is best known for his poetry and short stories, particularly his tales of mystery. He is widely regarded as a central figure of Romanticism in USA and in the American literature as a whole, and he was one of the country's earliest practitioners of the short story. Some critics comment that his stories are the best of the world, that almost 150 years away are still the most suggestive narrations of the 19th century, and that his narrations of poems among the universal results of American literature of his time. Besides, the terror was a genre adopted by Poe to satisfy the tastes of the public of the time. In this way, the obsession between necrophilic and sadistic of the author manifestations in several levels according to the stories has been indicated frequently. The book Tales of Mystery and Imagination is a compilation of different stories published in magazines and newspapers during 1839 and 1843. All the stories are considered the most important of his narrative production. Characters: the narrator that grew and became a heavy drinker, his wife that loved animals, and Pluto that is a large black cat. The plot is that Pluto is a neutral character at the beginning of the story, and he becomes antagonist in the narrator's eyes once the narrator becomes an alcoholic. The alcohol pushes the narrator into fits of intemperance and violence to the point at which everything unders him. Pluto, in particular, who is always by his side, becomes too the malevolent witch who haunts him even while avoiding his presence. When the narrator cuts Pluto's eye from its socket, this can be seen as symbolic of self-inflicted partial blindness to his own vision of moral goodness. The major theme of the story is when the narrator murders her cat Pluto and her house burned on fire. A new cat appeared in the bar who became a nightmare for the narrator, and finally he murdered her wife, trying to murder the new cat. After this, the wall collapses and shows the cat alive and her wife dead. The analysis of different conflicts is that when the fire destroys the narrator's house, symbolizes the narrator's almost complete moral disintegration, and the only reminder is the impression of Pluto upon the wall, which represents his unforgivable and incorrigible sin. Characters: the narrator is a nervous person that can listen sounds from the heaven to the hell. The old man, whose the narrators take care of, with only one blue eye. The plot is that the victim was an old man with a filmy vulture eye. The narrator emphasizes the careful calculation of the murder, and he hides the body by dismembering it and hiding it under the floorboards. Finally, the narrator's feeling of guilt or a mental disturbance results in him hearing a thumping sound which he interprets as the dead man's beating heart. The major theme of the story is when the narrator tries to murder the old man, but when he tries to, the old man was already died. After this, he starts listening the beats from him heart, so the narrator becomes crazy and starts to feel guilty. For this reason, he confesses all the crime to the police. Analysis of different conflicts The exactness with which the narrator recounts murdering the old man, as if the stealthy way in which he executes the crime were evidence of his sanity, that reveals his monomania and paranoia. The focus of the story is the perverse scheme to commit the perfect crime.